All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the WeBook It Podcast. Let's start the show.
My bad. Little technical difficulties. But what's up, WeBook It fam? This is your boy, Big Daddy C, the reigning, defending booking champion of the world. Back at you with another All Elite recap show where we cover all things related to AEW Dynamite. So last night's show was action-packed. I believe it was AEW's Fyter Fest, about 4 hours to be exact. So kicking off the show, we had in-ring segment. We got Tony Schiavone bringing out Will Ospreay to discuss his brawl that he had with Swerve Strickland after Dynamite went off the air last week. Will Ospreay pretty much, talked about, how it was kind of risky to try to get Swerve to be on the side of Heyman, Adam Page. Considering the history between those two, they pretty much hate each other. They want to kill each other at any given moment of time when they see each other. And so, but he said, but there's a common goal. They got a common enemy in Jon Moxley, trying to bring the AEW championship back onto the good guys side of AEW. And he talked about how Jon Moxley was saying that he hates what AEW has become. And he basically told him to kick rocks if he doesn't like AEW, how it is right now. And so basically he kind of questioned, he asked Swerve whether or not, like, hey, what's the biggest threat? Hangman Adam Page or Jon Moxley? And then he also started to question whether or not if, Swerve Strickland is now a threat, a bigger threat, to their goal. And so he said, he'll take a bullet for Swerve. They've known each other for like several years, well over a decade. But he'll take a bullet for AEW before he take a bullet for Swerve. He said, man, look, if it has got to come down to it, look, we can scrap. Hey, we can throw on the boots and lock it up. He's like, so I'm basically challenging you to a fight next week at AEW Summer Blockbuster. He will soon be interrupted by CRU, led by Lio Rush. And I forgot the other guy's name. But yeah, they basically challenged Lio Rush challenged Ospreay to a match, basically saying that, Will Ospreay, is the worst thing that's happened to AEW. And he's talking about how he has some Lio Rush is talking about how, he has some pent up, anger or whatever, and that he wants to get out. And so Will Ospreay is like, hey, look, hey, that's cool. Hey, I got nothing but time tonight. I got my beer upstairs. We got a good show going on tonight. And he's like, look, hey, I'm down to have a match. And he's like, hey, crowd, y'all want to see a Will Ospreay match tonight? They was like, yeah. And so match is on. And so this is a good segment to open up. I can't wait to see it. I'm sure Swerve will accept this match, and we're gonna get Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland 2 next week at AEW Summer Blockbuster. So next up, we had the camera called Toni Storm heading into the arena, who promised that she was ready to tango and kick some ass. And so the Lio Rush's partner is Action Andretti. Okay, that's his name. So they're CRU. So next up, there was a highlight video for Místico, who announced that he was going to compete next week at Summer Blockbuster. And so next up, we had a match between we had our first match of the night. We had Jon Moxley versus Mark Briscoe. This is an all-out massacre. these two, man, they went at it, man. They kicked each other's ass, brought each other to the brink, blood everywhere. And this is probably the first match in which Jon Moxley did not bleed, so he went a long ass time without bleeding. So it was nice to see. And but he eventually will win this match via a bulldog choke. And then there was a let me see here. There was some interference on the part of the Death Riders, which is nothing new. Every week it's the same shit. So, but it's good to see that Mox had a nice, like, hard fought match leading up into a big pay-per-view match. And so hopefully, we'll see, hopefully, his pay-per-view match will, live up to the hype as well. And so next up, let me see here. We had our next match, Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa versus Julia Hart and Skye Blue. This match is pretty solid as well. Mercedes Moné did join on commentary, had her own little table set up with some wine and steak and some lettuce, I believe. Feeding into the whole celeb BS that she's got going on, the so-called Beyonce of professional wrestling bullshit. Let's not do that. And so this was a while I was looking pretty bleak for Mina Shirakawa, she eventually will get the hot tag, and Toni Storm comes in, turned the corner in their favor. Mina will take out Julia Hart, and Toni Storm will make Skye Blue tap out to the TCM chicken wing. So yeah, like I said, this was a fast-paced match. Towards the end of it, you had and I was like, So that what you like, Tony? That's what you like? No, just playing. I'm just fucking with y'all. but no, it was a good match, nonetheless. After this, we had a segment with the Hurt Syndicate basically saying, "Hey, look, can't nobody mess with us, man. Can't nobody step to us, step to the champions." And now that we got MJF on the squad, can't nobody mess with him either. So, of course, MJF gets on the mic, saying, "Hey, look, I'm out here trying to get some gold too. I'm trying to get my AEW World Championship back, and can't nobody mess with us, man. Ain't nobody beating these guys for the championships. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from getting one." And so then out comes Místico. Oh, he challenged Místico because people kept saying that Místico was like the best wrestler in the world, and so he challenged him to a match at Grand Slam, and so Grand Slam Mexico to be exact. And so out comes Speedball, Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Komander. They pretty much put their names out there. They wanted to challenge the Hurt Syndicate, and MVP doing as usual. Hey, yeah. Y'all ain't finna step to us if y'all ain't earned it. I'm like, earn it first, and then we'll talk later. And so eventually they will have a match against LFI. And they would, prevail in that match. After it was a decent back and forth, they would prevail, and then MVP came out there. It's all right, congratulations, y'all won the prize. We gonna face y'all gonna face the Hurt Syndicate next week. So that'll be a pretty solid match. And also in the aftermath of that, he was also like, all right, but we're gonna give y'all a taste of what's gonna happen tonight. And basically they tried to bum rush the three cruiserweights, and only to get annihilated. Well, not annihilated, but they got sent home packing. Bobby Lashley and Sheldon Benjamin went out there first, and they got sent out of the ring. And then here come MJF. He gets sent out of the ring. So, yeah, they was doing the whole talking trash and shit. Like, we're going to get you guys. We're going to get you guys. Just you wait. We're going to get you guys. Yeah. And then MVP with his damn cane. He just poking his cane out like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, put that damn cane down. You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't doing shit with that cane, brother. MJF did plug in his role, his upcoming movie in Happy Gilmore 2. It ain't just a cameo. I saw a trailer for it. He's actually having a legit part in the movie. So I will be tuning into that when it drops on July 25th on Netflix. So be on the lookout for that, y'all. There was a funny moment where MVP was translating Komander Spanish insults to MJF. So that was a funny moment. But yeah, after that we had another segment with Max Caster doing the whole 5 minutes crap, challenging random opponents. Apparently his gimmick now is called the best wrestler alive, which he's not. So Powerhouse Hobbs will open the challenge. He will accept open challenge. And he beat Max Caster in less than 1 minute. So not much to see, dwell on there. Moving on. We had an international championship fatal 4-way between Kenny Omega, Claudio Castagnoli, Brody King, and Mascara Dorada. This was hard hitting. This was a classic match. Gave you everything you want in a fatal 4-way match between these guys. You got a couple bruiserweights, one bruiser / super heavyweight guy, and Brody King. And so like this match gave you everything you would want to see. And after a lot of back and forth, a lot of reversals, a lot of hard hitting maneuvers, Kenny Omega would reign supreme with the one winged angel to win. So eventually the broadcast shifted to Collision, which I'm not shocked that they must have. So it might be air. I don't know if it's airing. Well, it already aired. Okay, so they did a double. Looks like they did a double show, which I didn't know about that. I thought because normally Collision they'll have on Thursdays whenever there is a WWE pay-per-view on a Saturday, because they don't want to, they're not gonna get no views on the same day as a WWE pay-per-view, so they smart about that. So but yeah, they transitioned to Collision as Okada arrived to stare down Kenny Omega. As we know, Okada is the Continental Champion, and Kenny Omega is the International Champion. And so we know the rivalry between these two guys, dating all the way back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Man, like one of the most storied rivalries in professional wrestling history. And so these two, they in each other's faces. They putting the titles, like mushing each other's in the face with their respective title belts. And they came to blows, man. They was going back and forth. Kenny Omega almost hit Okada with the Rainmaker. He hit the Rainmaker, almost hit the Rainmaker with the one-winged angel before Okada bailed from the ring. Man, look, I've seen highlights of their matches. I've never watched the entire match between these two, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch like all of their matches to kind of prepare myself for what to expect between these two at All In. I just know it's gonna be crazy. That's all I know from what I've seen from highlights and what I know about Kenny Omega's wrestling and what I know about Okada. But yeah, so that like I said, the main event match was pretty solid. So yeah, it was a great show, great action. Like I said, Kenny Omega defeated Dorada, Brody King, and Castagnoli by pinfall, and he retained his international championship. So yeah, so that was pretty much the end of the show there. I do apologize. We had after they did, I'm gonna just go ahead and cover whatever they had for Collision. Basically, you had Will Ospreay versus Lio Rush. Lio Rush fought valiantly, but it was no. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do nothing with Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay finished him off with the Styles Clash for the win. And then Action Andretti attacked them after the match. And then Hangman Adam Page came out there to save him. Brought some chairs out there. Came out there to save him. And so Cowboy basically declared loudly that he would not take any assistance from Swerve Strickland. Basically, he gave a promise that it was not going to happen. And then he also promised to dethrone Jon Moxley, who happened to appear behind him following Claudio Castagnoli, Marina Shafir, and Wheeler Yuta, who and eventually Will Ospreay comes back out to aid Hangman Adam Page with steel chairs to send off the Death Riders and to retreat. For whatever reason, they went and grabbed chairs too after they retreated, and they didn't do anything. So they grabbed chairs as they were walking away and just threw the chairs back in the ring. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What is going on, my? Don't tell me one of the lights went out, bro. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Don't tell me one of the lights went out. Either that or it's not. Might be my computer, bro. That's crazy. What's going on? What the hell? My brightness? What is going on? Okay. All right. So I don't know what's going on with my laptop right now, but moving on. We had a let's see here. We had another match between FTR versus FTR and Atlantis Jr. and Templario. This match was, not much to dwell on with this match. FTR pretty much ran through this tag team, and afterwards they was talking their shit, saying how they was the winningest tag team. Stokely was basically talking his shit on behalf of FTR, saying that how they was the winningest tag team in AEW history. Dax tried to speak afterwards, but the booing was too much. He simply declared that Denver missed their chance to hear him, and he was like, "I ain't talking to y'all motherfuckers today." So I like this heel turn with FTR, man. I feel like they work a lot better as heels. I feel like it adds to the dynamic of their matches, especially when they go against tag teams. There are like really good babyface tag teams. So we'll see what's next for these guys, if they're going to challenge for some tag team gold down the line. Next up we had a match between Proto Shida and Hishishiro versus the Los Outrunners and Bandito. Let me see here. Hold on. That's their team name? Okay, bruh. I was not aware of this, y'all. I'm sorry. So apparently Proto Shida is a combination between Kyle Fletcher and Kenosuke Takeshita. So it's like a combination of their name. Whatever. That's trash. That is a trash combination name. I'm sorry. But anyway, they found quick chemistry with Hishishiro to keep up with the energetic trio of Bandito, Truth Magnum, and Turbo Floyd. Those two making up the Los Outrunners, of course. But in the end, Fletcher and Takeshita will break up the Los Outrunners signature handshake and set up the Brainbuster from the Protostar to win. This was a pretty solid match, nothing to write home about, but I think anytime you got some good heels that are great in the ring, great chemistry, you got some great some decent baby faces in the ring, it's gonna have some some good moments throughout the match, but still nothing to rave about in my opinion. Basically I feel like Takeshita and Fletcher will pretty much be like the top tag team when it comes to the Don Callis family, especially on the road to All In. who knows? They might step up at some point too to challenge the Hurt Syndicate. So moving on, we had a segment in which it was a quick recap of last week's brutal street fight, where Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford would drag Anna Jay to the stage. Megan Bayne basically threatened to send Anna off the stage, but lo and behold, the return of Tay Mello. She will return to attack both Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford until the officials will intervene. It's good to see Tay back in the ring. We know she took time off, during have a baby, her and Mr. Sammy G. So yeah, she ain't wrestled since January 2023. So it's gonna take a little bit to get back into in-ring shape. But I think she'll get to that point. So apparently Harley Cameron, is dealing with some injury. So obviously Anna Jay needed a little extra help. So in comes, Tay Mello. So we'll see what happens down the line. Next up, we had, let's see here. Anthony Bowens did challenge Kyle Fletcher to a match next week at Summer Blockbuster for Pride Month. And then let's see, we had ROH TV title match. Nick Wayne versus Sammy Guevara versus Lee Johnson versus AR Fox. This match was awesome, in my opinion. A lot of these guys, a lot of young cats, man, they doing their thing in the ring. Just a lot of fast-paced action going on. Eventually, Nick Wayne, he almost lost. There were some times he almost lost his title, man. But eventually, he will hit the Prodigy Plex for the victory to retain. And so yeah, he's still the ROH champion. This was a nice little fun fatal four-way match. Basically, giving a little highlight for the young bucks that can't really, that's not on the main show. Basically, a lot of people getting showcased on Collision, and so it's pretty good to see. And so, of course, Christian was nowhere to be found, disappearing from TV while Nick Wayne was in Japan. Oh man, Christian, still being an asshole, whether it's in person or away. But Christian's still that dude, man. So next up, we had the Toxic Spider Tekla making her debut against Lady Frost. Now, this is probably the match that really caught my eye, because man, both of these women beautiful as hell, man, in every way. I never knew about Tekla up until she, made her appearance on AEW. I know they mentioned, she had her moments in New Japan, and so got a little Bray Wyatt in her, like a little spider crawl and shit. She's flexible, and so. Lady Frost, she held her own, man. She held her own in this match, even despite her best offensive efforts. Tekla, she prevailed with a spear into the death trap, which is her submission move. Crazy, a nice little submission move to be exact. It's almost like a weird modified triangle choke, like kind of like Hell's Gate, but it's like a weird, more modified version of a Hell's Gate. After the match, Tekla pretty much locked back in her submission until Queen Aminata would make the save. That woman is also beautiful, man. AEW, man, it's hard to imagine who got the best women collectively between AEW and WWE, or I'll just say even NXT, man. I don't know. I think it's a tie. It is a tie. But I'm gonna stay by NXT side because of because of Miss Parker. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. But yeah, so it was a good first match, good debut match for Tekla. Shows that she's going to last a long time in AEW. I think she's going to be one of those ones that can be at the top and can lead the women's division, whether she's a TBS champion or the AEW women's champion. So we'll see what happens down the line. In terms of who her first major rivalry will be, I think somebody I think Chris Statlander would be a good first opponent for her, good first rivalry that she could have in the company. So we'll see if that ever happens down the line. And then we also had another match, Paragon and Daniel Garcia versus the Don Callis family. And so this was a good, fast-paced tag team matchup, very competitive. But ultimately, Adam Cole would catch Rocky Romero with the last shot to win the match. And so it was pretty decent, but nothing to write home about. And so next up, we had let me see here. So yeah, that was the main event of Collision. So yeah, I didn't know I was going to do both AEW and Collision tonight, but it was good. I was like, since they did it on the same night, might as well cover both of them. So yeah, it's probably why it was 4 hours, honestly, because it was 2 shows in one. But yeah, it was great. All action packed leading up into All In storylines, getting pretty much solidified, new storylines getting developed. Gives you everything you want. So yeah, this has been your All Elite recap show. So yeah, thanks for all who's been, tuning in to subscribe to the podcast. Like I said, we got shows almost every day of the week. We got our main Sunday night pod episode. We discuss all things wrestling, no matter the company. We got our Raw Dog Monday recap with me and Coach, or whoever decides to, step in when one of us can't go for the night. Tuesdays, you got Virgil running the NXT, the Who's Next in NXT show, doing his recap for that. I do mine for Thursdays for All Elite for AEW, that is. And then on Fridays, we got Fritos with the Friday Night SmackDown, the SmackDown Throwdown, Hold Down, Bring It Around Town, what do you want to call it? But the primary name for it is SmackDown Throwdown or SmackDown Lowdown. we I don't know. We just go, if y'all want to call it the SmackDown recap, do that too. And then every now and then we'll do a special emergency pod, just talk about some random shit or give our predictions about upcoming pay-per-view. We might do some watch-alongs or so. I'm thinking about doing one for Money in the Bank this Saturday. I got some guys in. One of my guys in from Chicago who also is a wrestling fan. Shout out to my boy Birdman. And so we're going to watch Money in the Bank. And my guy Tank is going to be over as well. Hopefully Virgil can join us too. So yeah, just continue to support. Be on the lookout for all these shows that we got on a weekly basis. And spread the word. Keep on liking, keep on sharing. So yeah, Big Daddy C signing out. Catch you later. Peace.